Happy New Year and welcome to Three Hokages podcast. We're your hosts, K, Kareem, and Hanif. This is our first podcast of 2026. We're going to do a recap of 2025. We're going to talk about our favorite or our most enjoyed television shows, games, animes, books, mangas, and all sorts of things. So we'll kick it off with our favorite TV show that's on streaming or regular television for 2026. Kareem, what's your favorite TV show for 2025? What was your favorite TV show of last year?
See, this was a tough one for me
Mm-hmm.
because there were a lot of good shows that I enjoyed, and every time one came to my mind, I was like, "Oh wait, what about this one?" So this is why I was like, maybe we can do like an honorable mention as well. But I think I did narrow it down.
I'm saying, yeah, we can do honorable mentions once we get back to once we finish doing our least favorites as well.
Yeah, so I would have to honestly go with Silo, and I know some of that carries over, but it was either Silo or Foundation for me, and I'm gonna go with Silo just a little bit, because I think it has a little bit of everything. It has great mystery, great characters. Great character story arc. So it's like the characters from where they started in season one, they're not generally in the same place that they are in season two. And the development and the growth feels realistic. There isn't any kind of, drama that's just sidetracking from the main storylines. And it has me fully engrossed. So whether it's the main character, the side characters that they introduce, I felt like everybody was a welcome addition. Even people who I hated in season one in terms of as a character, in season two, I'm like, well, maybe they have a valid point, and maybe we didn't look at what they were dealing with properly. And to me, that's a great show, and that's a great story. Where every season you feel like it's satisfying, but you know that there's a lot more that they're going to uncover. And even though it leads off on the cliffhanger, it doesn't feel like you're like, oh, come on, you got to be kidding me. It's like, I can't wait for the next season to come out. And that's how I'm feeling about Silo.
Now, that Silo is it loosely based on that book Wool? Is it based on? Okay. All right. Yeah. I was like, I feel like, and I know that because I remember Kim, when we went to New York Comic Con some years ago, I remember Kim was like, "Oh, this book Wool." I was like, "What is this?" I was like, I'm gonna pick it up and actually read it. So that's shout out for the good suggestion. Okay.
Yeah.
I have one every few years.
So what's your suggestion? What's your favorite or most enjoyed television show for 2025?
It's actually, this is gonna sound weird. So someone recommended this show to me, and it was called Riot Women. It's this British show, and I was like, okay, and I didn't think I was gonna enjoy it, but within the first 15 minutes, this is gonna, like, for anybody, this is a show about middle-aged women, and how they feel invisible. But in the first 15 minutes, this woman is trying to commit suicide. Like, she literally has the rope hanging in her house where she's trying to kill herself. But then her brother calls her and is a douchebag about money. And she's like, yeah, I'm not doing it. I'm like, how do you start a show off with, I'm going to kill myself, but I'm not, because my brother is being a little a-hole because I sold our mother's house because she needs to be in a facility because she has dementia. I was like, this is the first
this is real quick.
Yeah, right.
I was like, because the person that recommended, I'm like, oh, okay. I'm not expecting that to be a recommendation from this person. And I was just like, what? Like, I'm sorry, this does not seem right. And I was like, but I was 100% glued. I was like, wait, hold on. Because at the whole time, I'm like, yo, I hope you get off this phone, you drive to your brother's house, and you beat the living daylights out of him. Like, you don't need to commit suicide. You need to hurt your sibling. On like a person, hurt your sibling. But no, and I was just like, oh, this is, and it's only like 6 episodes because, it's a British show, and they don't believe in more than 6, apparently.
Is there another season possibly in the works?
I think there is supposed to be a second season, but I was more like, I didn't expect this to be like, who starts a show off that way? And it's it's literally just about a show of women in this area in England, this really pretty place. And I'm just like, but that's how you started. Like, you live in a cottage, you live this idyllic little life, kind of sort of, but then I was just like, yo, this is just the most random show and the most random suggestion that came out of nowhere. And I was like, oh, I am so hooked. It was like 6 episodes, and I watched it. I was like, no, I'm watching it too fast. So I was like, I'm gonna do 2 episodes a day, and I'm gonna wait every 3 days to watch it. Because I was like, I did not want to finish it that quickly. Yeah.
Okay, and that's always a fun find, is where something you don't expect to enjoy, and then you actually end up enjoying that. You don't go in with high expectations, really. Just like, oh, okay, this really surprised me. Those are always some of the best shows to watch or products. For me, it's going to be something more recent. So I chose Welcome to Derry. It's fun. I mean, hey, who doesn't enjoy watching a killer clown chase after children in the middle of the woods? something crazy like that. I think for me, with Welcome to Derry, is because my wife is a big Stephen King fan. She's well versed in knows it and stuff. So there's always before the show came out, she was schooling me on Pennywise and all the fun things Pennywise does in Derry for years before this. So I was like, okay, she mentioned this before. Okay, that's why this happened. Oh, okay. So she's giving me more information about certain parts of the show that makes it enjoyable. Almost like you got director's commentary as you watch it. Like, so because this one, he's related to so and so, and okay, so this person's going to survive, or this happens, or this is different from the book. I enjoyed it. It's always good to see a young Dick Hallorann. I forgot the actor's name who played Dick Hallorann, but he was in Gotham. He played Lucius Fox in the Gotham TV series. So I always enjoy seeing him getting some work. So shout out to him. Hopefully there's a spinoff series of focusing on his time once he leaves Derry. I know they're working on hopefully getting a second season that's going to go. It's going to go backwards in time. So the second one's supposed to focus on the the Bradley Gang massacre. And then the third season is supposed to focus on the Ironworks, not a massacre, but the explosion that happened in several years, another 28 years or 56 years prior to the current one. So that's to me is a unique look at things, because most times TV shows and movies go in chronological order going forward. So this one shows us, Will and Mike Hanlon, at this point now he's going to go further back. So we may not even see these characters next season, because this is supposed to be 28 years beforehand. So this is going to get a whole slew of new individuals. So that'll be interesting. Hopefully, I never know if HBO wants to cancel it or not, but I hope they don't. But that was my pick for our favorite TV show of 2025.
Okay. I mean, it is HBO. They're going to cancel.
I'm hoping they don't, because it's like I have so many other shows on there. You don't need to cancel it.
Come on, HBO was almost as bad as Amazon with canceling shows. So,
well, Amazon and Netflix. But mostly, I'm surprised with Amazon, because you got the world's richest man there. Well, one of the world's richest men. You can't fund this for another season. You can't just throw a few more dollars. Like, I'm hoping that Expanse can keep going on, but it's like, no, that's it.
I'm pulling Expanse off of their streaming platform service. It's yours. Why are you trying to pull it off?
Exactly. That's a travesty, though.
So we'll move to anime. So what was your favorite anime or most enjoyable anime of 2025?
I want to hear Kay's recommendation, because she always has great anime recommendations.
No, so okay, I'm not even gonna lie. Like this year, I didn't really watch much new stuff. I literally kept going back to stuff that was like this year needed to be like my comfort year. So I kept going back to like comfort stuff. So I rewatched Ranma.
So, did you watch the new Ranma that's on Netflix?
I did watch the new Ranma as well, and I was like, I'm good. I'm okay. Like, Kimberly needed to be healed in 2025. Like, Kimberly needed a fantasy world to go into, and so Ranma was just my thing. Like, Rumiko Takahashi was my thing for this year, because I needed it. So it's a cheat, because it's not really brand new, but it was like, that was my go-to back and forth, because I needed it. I really needed it.
So then we'll put Ranma one half as your favorite of 2025.
It's my favorite. Yeah. Again,
the old one and the new one.
Right. And I didn't think I would like the new one. I was like, this is not going to do well. I don't know. I don't like the new actors, but I was like, nope, that just works perfectly fine. What was yours?
So this one is to me is more of an experience, and so anime has always been something that I've enjoyed. Back to the VHS tapes where you had to look up and find some bootleg copy of an anime you could watch. So this is, to me, is more of an experience. It's not necessarily the show that I singularly enjoyed the most this season, but I have to pick Dragon Ball, Daima, and the reason is because of the experience. So I did enjoy the show. I did enjoy the season overall, but the reason why I'm picking this over the other shows that I love is because this is the first anime that I've ever watched with my son. And he loved it. He loved it. He didn't know everything that was happening. But, just seeing the characters turn into, little people. Because I did dress him up as Goku one year before he had any opinion on the matter. So being able to watch this with him and remembering how I felt the first time I saw certain things happen in Dragon Ball Z, this is my choice for the most enjoyable anime of 2025 for me.
Okay, that's a good reason.
It's sweet.
It doesn't have to be about the exact plot, or this is it's how it makes you feel. If you enjoy it, especially a memorable event like that, was the first anime that you and your son can sit together and watch and enjoy. That's something that you'll always remember.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's going to be. I also enjoyed Ranma, the reboot or remaking of Ranma. I enjoyed that, but I like Dandadan. Dandadan it's not heavy on plot, but it just had a lot of Easter eggs and feel good moments for me that I just really enjoyed the series. It's not heavy on the fighting as far as you got to build up and level up my characters. Just normal kid who likes aliens, likes ghosts. They meet and just. Every episode is some different kind of hijinks, and I love Turbo Granny when she's in the little the lucky cat. She's hilarious. Shout out to I watched it in English, so shout out to the voice actress Goodson who does that voice. She's hilarious. And obviously, the grandma is also funny, but Dandadan is an anime that I enjoyed for 2025. I didn't think I was going to enjoy it. I was like, well, what is this? Let me watch it. Oh, this is pretty funny. This just goofball moments. Especially the finale with them inside their own kaiju fighting that rinky dink Godzilla. I thought that was pretty fun. But I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to the next season. There's other animes I watched, but I think Dandadan was one that just I really look forward to the next episode coming out the next week. Okay, what's going on? And don't get me wrong, there's other great animes that came out, but that was the one I just felt my feel good anime was Dandadan.
Yeah.
Aww.
So Kareem, what is your favorite movie? Whether you watch it in the theaters or you watch it at home or you're off the high seas, what was your favorite movie of 2025?
So I have to admit, this is a year that I have not watched as many movies as I used to, at least in the movie theater. This was my thing, every weekend, every other weekend, we'd have to see a movie. Now that the tickets, prices, everything, I have to make sure that I'm at least interested in what the movie is about well before I go. And so I did end up enjoying a number of movies. I have a lot of notable mentions that I have for our next show, and I hope this isn't your favorite movie of the year yet either, but I would go with Sinners. That's how I wanted to go first for movies. It's I would definitely go with Sinners. Whether it's viewed as not the most original storyline because it's dealing with vampires, it's dealing with this. Their premise, the structure, the characters, and the overall storytelling to me are unique and a story that needed to be told from that perspective. And so similar to my choice for anime, it's about the experience itself. And to me, that's what Sinners captured. A movie that I wanted to watch multiple times. I got the soundtrack because, again, the movie isn't just about vampires. It's about, what happens to people. What happens with generations, how music influences cultures and situations, and for the soundtrack itself to be something that I'm playing in my car at home by myself and I can still experience what the movie is trying to say. To me, that takes a lot of thought, a lot of energy to get the story, to get the soundtrack, the characters, the character development, and it's a solid experience that every time I watch it, I feel something different. Where it's like, at first it's like, wow, the twins. Oh, what happened here? Or what happened? Oh, the Asian family, how they were destroyed, or the vampires. But this is every time I watch it, it's something new, and it's a new experience, and but it's still that feeling where you're in the moment where it's like, whoa, this is powerful. And so for me, Sinners is that movie that it captured that full experience that I expect now when I'm going to the movies, paying full price. Food, no bathroom breaks, at this point. So to me, Sinners is my favorite movie of 2025.
Okay.
Sinners. Not even gonna lie. And it's like by far my favorite one. That is the one movie that I saw in the theaters by myself. And I was like, it just felt good. It felt right. It felt comfortable. It felt like a piece of home. Like, despite everything that happens, like, you're like, there's something about this movie that just feels like home. Mm-hmm. And that was like, that's still my favorite. And I'm like, I've seen other movies in theaters. I'm like, yeah, I didn't go into Sinners thinking it was going to be great. I just went into thinking it's going to be interesting. But the way I left feeling afterwards, and I'm like, even thinking back, I still feel that feeling for it. I'm like, like it can't be any other movie but Sinners for me for this year. And it might still be like, because even now, like when I rewatch it, I'm like, I still get that same kind of like home feeling. And I'm just like, yeah, no, this is a really good movie that I think more people need to see, more people need to experience. Mm-hmm. It was just good. It was just, again, like I said, as something I wasn't expecting it to be great. I was expecting it to be okay, but it was way more than okay. And again, for me to have sat there in the theater by myself, like I don't go to movies by myself often, and to have the feeling that I had, that's definitely the best movie for me for this year, for 2025.
Well, I'm going to pick something different. I'm going to pick Sinners. No, I have wrote down Sinners as well. So I enjoyed it. Chris and I went to see it. I think I was expecting a vampire movie, but I think it was a lot more than that. A lot of cultural references, a lot of historical references in the film that made it more than just a vampire is bad, let's survive the night kind of movie. I think we have those moments like when you see these Marvel moments, you have goosebumps when you hear on your left, like those kind of moments. But when I think of the musical scene of Preacher Boy singing his song inside the juke joint, and then it transforms us into the timeline of African to African American music throughout history, and then also including the Asian American music and performances in their historical timeline as well. I thought that was beautiful. Like off the top of my head, I can't recall any film that done something like that, and it was trippy because you didn't know it's coming. No. And so I'm watching, like, did I just see a guy with non-period piece attire walking by? Like, was that like the Game of Thrones water bottle under Bran's chair? They didn't realize in editing, and then wait, these people they're breakdancing. Wait, there's a DJ now. Like, oh, okay, I can see now. I see the time. Like that. It took you a second to realize what's happening in this thing. I thought it was just something beautiful added to this movie. And then you have Remy outside doing the Irish and Irish American song as well as dance. It's like it added something for everybody. So it's not just. I hope people don't just see that as just a black movie or just a black vampire movie. It hits a lot harder than that, and I enjoyed it for 2025. What it means it comes award season, probably not much. When we know who controls things, but I enjoyed it. I thought that was probably the best cinematic movie of 2025. I'm glad we all agree on that.
Yes, that's probably the one and only thing we all agree on.
Yeah,
So, it's not going to be on the least favorite list.
No, it's not. It was no good. We saw it twice in the theater, so that's something. We haven't seen movies, twice in the theater since Marvel. Probably since like a Marvel movie. Like we got to go see Endgame again in the theaters. Like it's been a minute since I actually paid to see another movie in the theaters twice.
Wow, with them prices, it makes sense.
Two people seeing 9 IMAX is probably almost including popcorn. You're looking at probably $50 or so.
Yeah.
So, but what's your favorite video game or game played of 2025? Now, it may not have come out in 2025. It may have come out in 2024, but you played it. You played the hell out of it in 2025. What game was that? And okay, are you even on the Switch? Or are you doing PC gaming?
So I am still on the Switch, and I am doing PC gaming. And oh God, what is the actually?
Let me go see for a second. Is it still? I was gonna say, is it still Link? Is it still is it Breath of the Wild?
I ain't finished. I still haven't finished Tears of the Kingdom.
I haven't played it, so don't listen to me. I haven't even played it.
Okay, I did.
My Switch hasn't been powered on in over 2 years, so don't stress.
Wow. Oh my gosh, what is the part of me? I'm pulling up my Steam library to to figure out what the game is called. South of Midnight was the game that I played this year. How was that? It was, again, I have not finished it. But for gaming, it was one of the ones that I was like, okay, because I was playing it on the Steam Deck, and I was like, yeah, I don't like playing it on this. I need to play it on the computer. And I kept going back, and like I kept dying because I kept wanting to hear the voices. I kept wanting to hear like the sounds of the swamp, like everything. It was immersive in a way that I wasn't expecting. Like, we know Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, those are immersive games because like this is just like amazing, beautiful stuff. But there was something about South of Midnight that I was just like, why am I just like, I just kind of want to sit in this area and just listen to everything. And I will eventually finish it.
You got to play like white noise. It had a swamp creek and everything.
Yes, and it again, I don't know. Like I said again, it's like a feeling of like a home that I've never been to, but it just felt so comfortable to play that game, and I was like, so I need this game. Like, I need the soundtrack, and I'm mad because like there was like a whole Kickstarter or something like that where you could buy like the stuff on vinyl, and I was like, oh yeah, but that was already sold out. And I was like, well, I won't be getting that.
I'm surprised they don't. Yeah, I mean, I think that I like to believe they maybe on their website, the publisher's website, or developer's website, they don't have any merch that you can purchase.
I don't remember seeing any. So let me say that I don't remember seeing any, and I was just like, this was actually pretty cool. Oh, I just turned up. That's why you don't turn off stuff on the computer, because I do dumb things. As long as I don't lose this recording, we're fine. I'm not. I promise I won't. I will not. But yes, that was like the game that I was shocked that I kept playing and really enjoyed. Let's go to Hanif because we always end on you. Let's go. We're gonna end on Kareem this time.
Okay. My favorite game that I enjoyed the most this year was Assassin's Creed Shadows. That's the one with Naue and Yasuke in feudal Japan, like in the 15 or 1600s. I've already finished it. I've played the DLC. I finished that as well. Like I was saying before we started recording, like for me, Assassin's Creed games is like my way of just seeing what the possible world looked like at that time. Like, the colors, the cities, how the cityscapes, just reimagining in my head, this is probably what it looked like. Now, we can tit for tat and talk to trolls online about, Yasuke wasn't a samurai. I don't care. I just like seeing the dude with a sword slicing people up. Yasuke, it could have been, Jerome, whatever. It could have been anybody, whether it's black and white, it doesn't matter to me. They do reference him, coming over in a slave ship, and there's a mission where he fights finds his, the slave traders. I think they were Templars or whatever, and he, who killed his mother before they shot him and threw him off overboard. But it's a good game. I mean, it's one of the better Assassin's Creed games. I think you'd enjoy it. I haven't played Ghost of Yotai yet, but I think for me, Assassin's Creed Shadows was a really enjoyable game for 2025.
And I'm so glad you mentioned that game. Because I love that game. I love that game. It's like one of those games where you want to complete everything. You want to explore every corner just because, like, you don't even. There's not even a mission in this area. I just want to know what it looks like, and I want to see what it looks like when the sun is setting. You know what? Maybe I want to go into photo mode and take a really good photo. Like, it's that kind of a game where I want to experience everything. But I do have another choice for my favorite game. So this way it's one of my notable mentions, Assassin's Creed Shadows. I do think it's one of the best ones ever. I played that game to no end. And I want to go with a game that no one has heard of. And that's Clair Obscur Expedition 33. It's just a small game that, you know.
I might slap
This was to me like a really good year for gaming. Some games that I know I'm going to love that I haven't even started yet, like Ghost of Yotei. I just started Death Stranding 2. I know I'm going to enjoy that one because I enjoyed the first one. You know, we had Spider-Man 2. I played Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 like almost every day. But the reason why I'm picking this game is because it had elements that brought me back to some of the best games that I've ever enjoyed. So I'm a big RPG fan. I love those type of games, and not just the action-based ones, but even the turn-based ones. And so this, to me, I'm glad it was successful because it shows that there is still a place for turn-based RPGs in today's world. Some of my favorite, like Final Fantasy VII, when it first came out, it was turn-based. And I think a lot of RPGs have gone away from that so quickly when I think it should still be, you know, a really solid game mechanic in a lot of, you know, modern RPGs. We don't need action where you can't keep up with every single character on the screen. You're just pretty much, you know, mashing buttons. But it's not just that. It's the atmosphere. It's the story. It's the characters that you follow. So it's like pretty much, you know, it starts off where you have another expedition, 33. You know, there's a mystery behind it, and they want to stop the painters. But once you start exploring the world, you realize there's a lot more to that. And, you know, I used to see people say, play the first 30 minutes, not even to play the first 15 to 30 minutes, and you'll be engrossed in the game. And that's true in my opinion. When you see what happens in that village and what's going on and why they're going on these expeditions, you want to be part of it. You understand why they're doing it. But then there's also some Game of Thrones aspects where it's like, yeah, you think this is an important character, but maybe they're not. This might be an important character, but maybe they're not as important as you think. and to me, it stayed true to what happens at the beginning of the game, where people are risking their lives for something that they don't understand in order to stop it from happening because there's just people that they care about. And the music to me in this game is a big part of that as well, because I used to catch myself just humming some of the songs like that they're just playing at the campfire. And it's like, oh wow, this is very haunting. And it would fit with it. So I think, you know, a lot of what went into that game was an experience for me. Is it one that I would play again? Probably not. I think I did enough to fully enjoy it, but I do think that it's a game that at least people should try to experience at least once.
Now, with how does that compare to? Then you mentioned the role playing turn-based. Is that similar to like Baldur's Gate? Is it like that one where you cast and you defend and you attack? You take turns doing that against the opponents.
No, so you have to be very active in the turn-based because there are some bosses, some battles you cannot win unless you counter or you parlay. There's a lot that you have to pay attention to, or you may have to jump depending on the attack. But it is truly turn-based in the sense of once it's your turn to do a move, there's no timer. You can strategize how you want to. You can use their abilities how you want to, you know, pending any, you know, skill points that you may have to get.
Right.
But it is truly turn-based. And you can literally fight against someone and not lose any health if you can play it right.
Gotcha. Okay. I definitely want to get it. It was one of those where I went on to a PlayStation store and I saw certain things for sale. I was like, I can wait. I'll pick up these other games for like I told you, Ninja Turtles was like $12. Like, went from $30 to $12. Sure, I'll pick it up. I know Expedition by Midnight, Expedition 33 is gonna probably be even cheaper, probably going into this year because it's been out for so long. So I'm sure I'll pick it up before Black Friday of 2026.
Yeah.
Well, let's look into were there any favorite books that you guys read or plan to have read in 2025, but you didn't?
I actually have two kind of books. So one is by Cerise Murphy. It was In the Garden of Light and Shadow, book 2. I had got it from my mother to read, and she read it, and then she's like, "Here, it's yours now." And I was like, "That's not the point of this. I bought it for you. I had her sign it for you." And I was like, "No, but you really need to read it now." I was like, "Okay." So then I read that book. She did. I was like, "Okay," but no, I really, because I've read the first book. I read this, and I know I like Cerise Wright. I like her writing. I really do, and it was a really good sequel. But then the other book that I really, really liked, My Sister the Serial Killer.
Any particular reason?
My sister would never. You've met my sister. No, she would never. But there's something about that book that I've been saying. Someone else had mentioned it like a few years ago, I guess, because it came out like 2018 or something. And I was like, that sounds interesting, but it's probably going to suck. I have not finished it. I am halfway through that book, and I'm like, I really should have read this sooner. I was like, what took me so long to read it? But it's a fun read, and I'm just like, actually, it might not be so hard to do. I'm just kidding. It might not be so hard to do this because it's just different. It's not something. It is something No, I don't know. I don't know if this would be a normal book that I would read. Even the book by Cerise, In the Garden of Light and Shadow, is not normal books that I think I tend to read. But there's something about them that I gravitated towards it this year, and I was like, I'm glad I did. I kind of like broke out of what I normally do. But those are like, I know it's a cheat because it's not like one book, but I'm like, those are my two favorite books that I've read this year. I got a whole bunch more that I need to start reading for well, those are my favorite for 2025. There's like 15 books I want to read for 2026.
15 books? That's a lot.
Yeah. I don't think I'm going to get it through. I'm going to get through all.
Now you can do it. I believe in you.
You got a better belief than I do. What was like your favorite book for this year, or a book that you read for 2025, or you were going to read for 2025?
Me or Kareem?
Kareem. We're gonna go back.
It buys me time. I'm still. I have a book in mind, but I'm trying to remember. I can't remember if I read it this year or last year.
You read so much, right? It's just like
I read so many books. I can't remember if it was 2025 or 2024.
So it's not a book that came out in 2025, and it's not even a book that I got in 2025. But I love books. I love buying books. I have more books than I can fit on the bookshelves that I have here, which is bad. But I'm focused on trying to get through the ones that I buy at Comic-Con. So this one I've had for a few years, but the third one came out. I got it on sale, so I said, okay, let me start reading from the beginning, and that's Children of Blood and Bone.
Okay.
So I read that one. I picked it up. I said I'm going to start it about 3 months ago. I finished it in a couple of weeks. It was extremely engrossing. And I didn't even make an excuse like, well, they're going to come out with a film. I don't really need to read it right now. Let me wait. I'm glad I read it because it is a young adult novel. So it does have certain aspects of relationships, things of that nature, but it doesn't feel like it drags into those moments. You're like, oh God, here we go. To me, it's the mythology. To me, it's the mythology. So there's like no love triangles where you're like, okay, let's get to the point. And it's pretty much, it takes the perspective of different characters in different chapters. And so the main character, at least who I believe is the main character, remained the main character, at least in the first book. And I guess all bets are off once I started the second book. She's on a quest to pretty much restore magic in the world that they live, because they're dealing with oppression. They're dealing with a king who hates, anyone that has magic. And she pretty much encounters the princess in the kingdom who witnesses her friend getting killed by her father, the king. And she witnesses her friend having magic right before the king kills her. So she's trying to get the scroll to someone. She happens to bump into the main character who just happened to be in that area at that time. And now they're on a quest to restore magic. And to me, it's the mythology. It's the different ways that magic exists. Like, you can't use different magic unless it's that magic type. And it explores the histories. Obviously it's just fiction as well, but it ties everything together so well, where you are engrossed in the characters. You feel their loss. You feel their victories. And you even feel their doubt at times. You're like, well, is this the right thing to do? So I loved that book. I popped open the second book immediately after finishing it. And I plan on finishing the second book and the third book at least by the end of this month. Wow. So that was my favorite book of 2025.
Okay. No problem. Me, I don't think my favorite book of 2025. Probably it's a series of, well, the last book was Not Till We Are Lost. It's, I think, the fifth book in the series of the Bobiverse. Pretty much, I'll jump to the original and I'll just paraphrase the rest of it. Pretty much, this guy, he's in Vegas, really smart engineer. He goes to this facility where it's similar to like Futurama. You can they'll cryo freeze your head or your brain until they can restore you into another body in the future. So he pays for the service, and as he leaves the building, he gets hit by a car and dies. He wakes up 80 years later, and they actually had put his consciousness in a machine, not a full body, but in a machine. In 80 years or so, the world's changed. Earth has gone more currently like MAGA-ish, where they almost like a civil war existed, where the United States has been cut into thirds. Like the Pacific Northwest was more ultra Christian and whatnot. So now there's a lot of infighting within the United States. The pro-science individuals put his consciousness in a satellite, shoot it off into space to find other planets for resources. So throughout the series of the books, years go by because he doesn't age. He's in a satellite, so he's taking a long way out. There's not Star Trek. There's no light speed or warp speed or anything like that. So he's slow boating it into the outer space, into the other stuff. So it's interesting where time plays into where he's able to relate. As he goes on, he starts to learn things even smarter, able to make his own network, interstellar network of speed, able to recreate himself. So now he's able to clone his own self into other satellites. So now he has multiple variations of himself with all these different personalities, and it's kind of fun. It's almost like, imagine yourself if you were to clone yourself. Now it's not just you, but it's now a clone of yourself and a clone of a clone, and they have all these different versions. They always come together in the Bobiverse, and they have these meetings. They make their own virtual reality meetings where they have like these little pubs with fake stuff, and they sit down and talking to one another about their escapades, traveling to this, Proxima Centauri, whatever. They find these other alien races, and they, immerse themselves in the alien races by making clones of themselves, or clones of they'll put their consciousness in a clone of that alien body. So now this alien body is walking around, learning about this culture and things like that. So it's pretty funny because then you have to come back to Earth. Meanwhile, Earth is still waging war amongst itself, and they have to come back and try to save the day and things like that. But I'm super paraphrasing 5 books, but I read the fifth and final book, and the way the fifth and final book ended, it was nice way to off into the sunset kind of thing, where this guy has been around for well over 300 years. He's able to see, his biological family and their descendants and their descendants grow old and whatnot through time. So he's like I think like a great grandfather by the time this thing is over, and everyone just knows him as Bob, just being up in the stars. It's a satellite that's rotating, flying out there and stuff. So it's a fun read. It's on Audible. So if you ever want to just listen to a book, just look up the Barberverse. But Not Till We Are Lost was I believe was the last book in the 5-book series, and it's a quick read. I think you can probably finish a book or two in a weekend. It's not a Tolkien tome of a book where you got to sit down. Cancel all my projects for the week. I'm going in. It's not one of those.
Wow.
That definitely sounds interesting to me, Barberverse. So I'll send you
I'll send you the link to him.
Definitely
Audible, pop it in and just listen because everything is from his point of view. So he's trying to understand things, trying to create a language to understand, to interact with different species and all kind of things. And not everyone has altruistic purposes and means when they it's a lot of it's like Star Trek-esque. But then there's enough 80s and 90s references in there because that's the time frame of when he's alive. So it's like, oh, I know what he's talking about because this is. So I thought that was fun. So within the realm of books, we have comic books. Right? Any comic books that you guys enjoyed? I know Kareem and I went to New York Comic Con this past October. Was there anything in 2025 that called out to you?
So this is tough for me. Because I tend to read so many comic books, especially ones that are like just, one quick trade. And I'm like, okay, I read it maybe in February. I may have gotten it the previous October at Comic-Con. And then, once I file it away, I may have loved the story, but then I forget when I actually read it. And so I tend to, because I read probably way too many comic books, to be honest with you. And the ones from like Marvel and DC, like, you have Marvel Unlimited, you have like DC, whatever they call it is now, where you can read comic books 6 months after they come out. And so I'm always behind in some of those series. And so this is more of a recency bias as well. But Absolute Batman.
Man,
I've been hearing about this for so long. I've been hearing about it for so long. and I got the trade. I said, let me finally give this a shot, see what all the hype is. And it's actually a really good take on Batman. I don't think it should replace the story that we are used to with Batman. But it's a great take on Batman without the billions of dollars, without losing both his parents. Without having a butler, and it's the way that it takes the same characters, it gives them unique origins, and the way he's trying to make a name in Gotham, which is somehow crazier than ever. I really love it. I even loved it better than the other Absolute storylines that I've read this year. It's just, to me, the Batman one, it seems like you recognize Bruce Wayne, you recognize Batman. The part of you feel like, hey, I'm glad he's living a little bit better life. Like, at least he has one of his parents, he has something.
And his friends.
Exactly, and his friends. And so it's like he has a semblance of a life, but you still understand why he's Batman, why he's trying to do what he's doing. Gotham City is terrible. And even the villains, the takes are actually more interesting in some ways to me, because they get to start off fresh and clean with them, as opposed to, this one has 80 years of history. We're trying to still work around it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, Absolute Batman has me hooked.
Well, I was going to say Absolute Batman. I thought, like I said, it has a unique spin on it. It wasn't just the same story rehashed. It's DC's version. To me, it felt like DC's version of the of Marvel's what the hell is Marvel's universe?
Ultimate.
I was say Unrivaled. I'm thinking of the video game, but the Marvel's Ultimate universe. And I enjoyed that. So let me pick a different comic book that was not Absolute Batman. Legend has it. You and I both picked up that comic book, the comic book by Marvel, and Sanford Green. I think he was the artist for all of the books. That was actually enjoyable. I like to, I always like when they take a little bit of music and blend it in with the comic, and to see Nas, to see Wu-Tang, see Slick Rick, as these superheroes or these otherworldly beings in comic book and print was pretty cool.
I'm not
Just
even gonna lie.
I ain't read nothing.
Honestly, no. I really this year was not a comic book year for me. It was also because I'm sorry, I am not. Okay, this is a little mini rant that I have. So I went into Forbidden Planet, and I was looking at the prices of comic books, and I was like, absolutely not. I was like, yo, why are comic books? And I don't mean like limited runs. I'm like, why are everyday comic books like $6? No, I'm cool. Why are they $5? No, I am cheap. I'm not doing this. I'm not. I'm like, I will read.
You need a digital release.
Yeah,
and it needs that, because I literally looked at it. I was like, now let's be honest. I did read Sebastian's comics, but that's different. I expect to pay more.
Well, yeah, Stranger Comics, you expected to pay more. You're going to get a lot more for your money with Stranger Comics.
Exactly. That is reasonable to me. But I'm looking at because there was I wanted to pick up the Storm books, like Storm Story that out, and I was like, no, I'm waiting till that becomes a hard, so that becomes a bound, because I'm not doing every book. I cannot. I refuse to. You are not getting that much money from me. I am waiting until it's all bound up. I'm not doing it. No, sorry.
Marvel Unlimited. Or subscription, you save a lot of money. So I have some subscriptions too.
Because I can't. I just cannot. Sorry. Just that's my little mini rant. But yeah, I guess Sebastian's book, Stranger Comics, is probably my.
There you go.
Because that's what I'm like, I don't want to count that. That isn't it's kind of a cheat. It'll almost always be Stranger Comics.
So, we'll close it out with, did you read any mangas? Is there any mangas that you like to add to your favorites of 2025? I personally haven't read any mangas this 2025.
I haven't read any. I picked up one that I heard was pretty good, and it's called Innocent.
Okay.
So I have it, on my table to read next. But I got into Blood and Bone, but that is on my list.
Okay. You need to tell me how Innocent is, because I heard about it too. Like someone else, there's somebody I follow online, and she talked about it, and I was like, yo, I kind of really want this, but I'm like, I don't want to, again, spend the money, and it because sometimes people make recommendations and then it's kind of sucks, and I'm like, I'm gonna be super mad. So yo, just tell me how that goes, because I really want to read it. I was like, oh, this sounds good. Yeah. So that might be my manga for 2026.
All right.
So we'll see what 2026 has. So I definitely have to add some mangas to my my reading list for this year. That's my New Year's resolution, to read some more mangas for this year. Okay. Sweet. We will do another episode where we'll talk about our least favorite shows, books, movies, and so forth, as well as honorable mentions. But with that being said, happy 2026. Goodbye, 2025. We're your hosts, K. Kareem and Hanif. Have a good one.